Hi everyone, welcome to this new Project Zomboid video guide for modding. In this video I'm going to show you how to convert the DirectX model assets from the game into usable formats to get like in Blenders. To start off, we're going to go on the Project Zomboid wiki and we're going to go in the file formats wiki page. In this page you have a section about texture and modeling formats, and more specifically modeling and animation formats. In here you have some explanations of what formats the game uses for models and for animations. The game assets mainly use DirectX. Some assets, I believe, like vehicles, can use Filmbox FBX, so .fbx and .x. And you can have also some assets that use graphics library transmission format, GLB. This is a special format that I'm not going to detail here, and you can usually easily export GLB and FBX in modern softwares for modeling. But DirectX is a bit more complex itself, and you can't actually import them easily. So to do that, you have a section about importing assets, and you have some explanations or some listing of tools that you can use to import models and animations. In this guide, I'm going to focus on this tool, the ZomboidAssetConverter, which is really useful because you can actually convert models and animations compared to the other tools that mostly use Blender add-ons to import the models, and they aren't perfect and they can't import animations. So let's go into the wiki page for the ZomboidAssetConverter. It's a tool that was developed by a modder called Aokia, which basically is a command line tool and can be used to convert entire folders of assets into usable formats. It's going to convert them into GLTF, and there's a binary file .bin that comes with it. The reason I'm making this guide is because this tool actually confuses a lot of people, because since it uses a terminal or a command line, it's going to confuse everyone on how to use it. And so I'm going to show you easily how to do it. I'm personally on Linux, and the tool doesn't exist on Linux. If we go on the download page, we can see only a .exe exists. So I'm going to use a virtual machine on Windows to show you how to use it. Okay, so I have a virtual machine with Windows 10 set up to test this out and show you. So I've got the game files right here. In Steam Apps Common Project Zomboid, you have a wiki page that's going to explain to you how to find these files, if needed, in the game files wiki page, and you have the media folder section. So you simply need to access the game files with this section. The usual way to access it is to go through Steam. You can right-click the game in your library, select Manage, and browse local game files. In this case, we don't need Steam open for what we're going to do. So you can simply access the game files and close Steam if that's something you want to do. In here, you have one important folder, which is a media folder. This media folder is going to hold most of the same assets that you use in a mod. So usually in a mod you have like a versioning folder, so 42, or the command folder, so con, and in that you have a media folder, and inside media you're going to have most of the stuff that modders need to use to create a mod. You have animx, which is one we're going to look at. It holds all the .x files for the game. And you have the models X files, which are simply the model files for items or weapons, vehicles. As you can see, the vehicles are in FBX, You even have some with Blender files right here that are sometimes available. These files you can directly import inside Blender because FBX is supported. But other models, you don't have this kind of extension file, and they use DirectX, and so you need to convert them. Okay, so let's see how we can convert them. If we go in the ZomboidAssetConverter as I showed you earlier, then you go in Download. You have the GitHub page for this tool. You download the .exe file. This ZomboidAssetConverter, you can't actually double-click it like an application, like you would with a software. You actually need to use a command line to run it. So let's see how we can actually run this soft. First, let's move it in a folder that's going to be more permanent for us. So let's say we have a folder Project Zomboid. If we want to use it later, you can paste it here. And you need to run it with a terminal. So you can search for CMD. This is going to show you a command prompt. If you're not familiar with this kind of interface, you might have some trouble at first to understand it. That's why I'm here. So what's going on in this interface? Well, when you have a CLI, a command line interface, you have the folder, which is shown here. This is a folder where you're currently at. So if we go in my user folder on my computer, this is the user folder that you can access with the same path as written here. You will see that you have these folders. If we do the command dir, this is going to show you every folders that are inside this path. So as you can see, we have the same folders as I've shown here. But in our case, our file is actually in Documents, Project Zomboid. So let's go there. To do that, you use the command cd and you type the name of the folder that you want to go to. This is relative to where you're at currently, or you can give an absolute path. So if we do cd documents, you can see the path changed. We're now in Documents. If we do cd ... this is going to go backward. And to show you, you can go with the path. So let's go in the Documents folder by copying this path. We do cd, we paste it. To paste it, you do Shift Insert, and you can see you go in this folder. So now let's check what folders we have. We can see we have the Project Zomboid folder, so like here. Okay, so let's go in the Project Zomboid folder. So we can see that we have all software here. If we list the files inside this folder, we get the Zomboid Asset Converter. So we are in the right path to run all software here. There's other ways to access it, of course. Like I've shown before, you can copy the full path where you want to go. It should be a bit easier. So if we make a new command line to show you, cd, Shift Insert, and you can see we are now in the right path again. There's another method again. You can simply right-click here in the Explorer bar. You type CMD. This is going to open a terminal inside the path already. Okay, so how do you actually use the software? Well, in the usage page here, in the usage section of the GitHub page of the tool, it tells you that you need to do / the name of the software and this argument for the command. In this case, this is actually a Linux path, so dot and dash, and in Windows you don't have this part, so you just copy the name of the software that you want to run here, Shift Insert again, and you get this. This is the default menu. It shows you the help menu when you don't have any arguments. You can also access this menu by running with the dash help. For the usage, it tells you to convert a folder of .x files this way. So you have the name of the software again. The first argument is the path of the game files. So this is anims x, and you want the output to be in a different folder. So you give the folder you want to output to, and you have more arguments that are used to convert the assets and fix the assets. So let's open a notepad. This is going to be a bit easier to manage. This way. We paste all start of the command. Here we're going to have the inputs, the game files, and here you're going to have the outputs. For that, we're going to create a new subfolder for all assets. This way. You copy the path, you paste it in the command here. You put it in between quotes, that way the spaces in the command don't cause any problems. And then you put the last arguments in, convert assets and fix assets, this way. Okay, now let's retrieve all game assets that we want to convert. So I'm going to go in manually. I'm not going to go through Steam to access them, just to show you. Steam is usually located in Program Files, Steam Apps, Common, Project Zomboid. You have the media folder that we talked about a bit earlier. And you have the anims X or models X. Usually that's the only ones you want to convert. Let's go with the anim files to start off. We copy this full path. The subfolders here are fine because the tool is going to retrieve every subfolders and convert every file inside it. So let's put it in our command this way. So you can see Zomboid asset, the path to the game assets. The output is going to be in our folder that we created, and the last arguments for the command. So let's try to run that. Okay, so as you can see, it tells you that it saved a fixed file in this path. Okay, so let's go in our converted assets path. You have a new folder, which is a fixed Bob, and you can see .x files. So what's going on here is that the tool fixes the DirectX files before converting them into a usable format. So let's not wait for this to end, and let's actually give a bit less files to convert at once, so it goes quicker for this guide. So let's stop here. Let's delete this, and we are going to convert a different path. Okay, so in the anims X path here, we're actually going to go in the subfolders here. Let's take Kate. It has only 11 items, so it should be very quick to run. And we add the Kate at the end of the path, this way. In your case, if you want to convert every game assets, you would simply leave the anims X path, the full path here, and convert this whole folder, and you can use them later down the line. You might also notice that I'm currently on build 41 in the virtual machine. That's fine. Build 42 is the exact same thing, but you will also have some animal files probably. Okay, let's go back in our terminal. Shift insert. You can see everything is fine. Now we're converting Kate only. Okay, so you can see that multiple things happened. The .x files got converted, got fixed, and then it tells you how long it took. So it was less than a second, and then it exported the files in GLTF as we talked earlier, and it tells you how long it lasted, and done. Okay, so you have the fixed assets here. So this is going to be mostly useless for you. If we go in the assets here, you can see that we've got all GLTF files. Okay, so I moved those files over to my main computer, and let's try to open them in Blender now. In File, Import, you should be able to import GLTF files. If we go at the path, the assets, and we select one of those, let's say Kate Run, you can see we now have the animation. And as you can see, this is what an AnimsX converted file looks like. And there you go. You have your animation now. Alright, I hope you liked this guide. There's going to be more guides like that, I hope, in the future. If you have questions, don't hesitate. Ask them in the comments. I'll try to answer them as much as possible. If you don't manage to get an answer, don't hesitate to pass by the modding Discord or the official Discord for Project Zomboid. There's a modding channel and a modeling channel specifically that you can ask questions there if you have more questions. See you.